believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider how long it would take for us to build what we have. Years and years is the answer. Like today's stream topic is about appreciation, as a lot of them tend to be, but today's is specifically appreciation for our technology, for our infrastructure, for our knowledge, for the time we are born within. While practicing yoga today, I was considering the fact that I was born in the smartphone era. And I was thinking about what that will mean to future generations to come. As an individual, to try and build a piece of technology like that. And I say years and years, but me alone, it would take literal eternities. It would never get done. It would just keep going, right? And because we're a society, as you will, and because we have built this system to be collaborative, at least somewhat in nature, we now have the opportunity to do things that would have taken us thousands of years to get to. Right? That is the idea I'm trying to share today. You right now, today, get to do things that would have taken you thousands of years to. You know? Today's stream topic was inspired by the work I was doing today. I basically finished up, got everything done that I needed to with my project that's coming up. It's not done, not like completely done, but it's done to the point where I have like a semi-final draft. Hey Jovan, it's nice seeing you. I have like a semi-final draft that I sent through to my client, and I'm now waiting for him to come back to me to let me know if he wants something changed or if he likes the design that I'm putting forth. And there was this overwhelming sense of realization in me today working. Like I made a lot. I made a lot of art, you can call it. If you believe AI art is art or not. I made a lot of art today. Multiple slides, right? And technically, now they're being animated as well. So not only are there frames, but there are 8-second videos now that I've made of those frames. I think they're like 30 FPS. So literally hundreds upon hundreds of individual images compiled together to make a video. And I made that today. Didn't take me years and years. Didn't take me years to learn the skills. Didn't take me years to do the work. It took me a morning to do more than I was able to do the thousands of years prior to right now. And it's creating this. I'm trying to articulate it as well. It's creating this sense of awe in me, like this wow sensation. This is mind blowing. Like how is this real? You know, and it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better. Like my work is only gonna get better as these tools improve as well. Something that would have taken me thousands of years to do, I will be able to do in a moment. Eventually. Eventually. I look forward to that eventually with you, friends. Thank you for joining me now. In this now, right? Again, this piece of technology that is doing this live stream right now, that is so much human innovation. Connor is here too. Hey, bro. The internet that is connecting us. So much human innovation, right? And if you had to calculate the individual human hours spent on making these things what they are, what we've come to expect of them today, it would take so absurdly long, impossibly long, right? For you to try and even fathom doing something like that alone. Maybe not only will it take you thousands and thousands of years to do something, but people have spent thousands and thousands of years in making it as it is right now for you, so that you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of years. And that's pretty cool. Hey, Connor sending us blessings. Howdy. I think AI art should be explicitly stated as such, since it is essentially taken from other artists without permission. The companies and regulators' fault, not the creators. I hear you, Connor, but it's not really that easy, to state that AI art is explicitly made like that, right? For instance, I am using AI art right now to build stage designs, or that's technically one way to articulate it, but it doesn't feel right to me. To build media that will be displayed on stage, right? So nobody cares, kind of vibe. Nobody's gonna come up to me and ask me, yo, who made this art? What person was it? People are going to just be there for the moment. And technically, that work, taking from other artists, that work was given to me as an artist, right? And if I spend the next 2 weeks painstakingly bashing my head against, a user interface to try and make a work of art to display it at the same festival, would it be that much more special? I would like to honestly believe no, it wouldn't be as special, because the amount of effort I put into these things that I've made is an artistic approach in my mind. And I think people would be able to tell as well. I think that's the other side of it, right? That makes it a little bit less yikes. Like, it is AI art. Like, it's very clear. Like, I'm thinking about that skeleton AI art that was used at a festival as well. Like, there's no confusion in your mind whether or not that's AI. It is pretty clear. I see Nancy here too with us. Thank you, dear friend. It's a pleasure having you here with us. So, Joy V, sending you lovin's. I have some. Super Lemon Haze? I think this is what it is. I think this was it. Super Lemon Haze. Yeah. Yeah, love is true. Thank you, Joy V, for blessing our friends with lovin's as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a complicated question. It's a complicated question because, again, this is, in my mind at least, something that all of us have access to. Some people, some artists, grew up in households where they were encouraged to do so, right? Grew up in households where they were sent to art classes or were sent to a school that have an art discipline, were in an environment where their art was encouraged and supported. I didn't grow up in any of those environments, right? Because I grew up in an engineering family, so art was seen as something you don't do, right? So not only taught, I wasn't only not taught how to do art, but I was actually taught the opposite, to not do art, right? Because that wasn't something that was in my family's situation or structure seen as useful. And now again, because I have waited, technology has technically caught up with me to the point where I don't have to be as good an artist as I have to be as good a director slash visionary. I think that maybe be the better word, right? I have to envision something. I have to have a vision in my mind, and then the AI facilitates the realization of that vision. The vision is still mine, right? The vision is still the artist's at the end of the day. At least that's the way I see it. Weed. You have some weed, and I suspect you're going to smoke it. I won't smoke it. I will evaporate the THC right off of it, though. Hey, I see Sam here with us too, sending you love. I believe you can use AI as a tool to help you with your art, but it's just plug in and show that as original art. It's kind of disingenuous. Yeah. Like, if you're posting AI art and being like, this took me, 20 hours to paint, that I 100% agree is disingenuous. But for me, it's like a medium, right? In the same way that paint is a medium to some artists, AI is a medium to me, right? It's another brush. in my belt that I can use to paint with. It doesn't take anything away from that for me, at least. Not saying that's what you do. Art is subjective. I know you. I don't mean any harm by it, brother bear. I am going to add some heat to my Dinovan, and then we'll have a little bit more of a conversation. I am a little bit under the weather. Mild headache. Like I have like a. I'll show you now. A little bit of discomfort here. My nose is stuffy, of course. That is super lemon haze. I think it was being exposed to so many different people again this weekend. But I don't particularly feel devastated just yet. So I'm hoping I'm going to not get any sicker. Please do hope with me. I agree it's a medium, but I just think that it's fucked up that AI just takes others' work and lets you essentially make their livelihood trivial. Yeah, bro. You know what's more fucked up than that, Connor? Is that AI isn't gonna do that just for art, bro. AI is not gonna do that just for art. Quite the contrary. It's coming for all of us. So, yeah, literally, like verbatim. AI takes others' work and lets you essentially make their livelihood trivial. But that's just the problem we're going to face in the next decade. Agreed. I was trying, I should say rather, trying to have this conversation this weekend. And people don't believe me. I should say my family don't believe me. And I wonder if it's like a willful ignorance, like a they don't want to believe me kind of thing, or is it more a matter of truly not believing it's possible? It seems like the worst answer, right? Oh, I think John's grandma's trying to kill you. Every time you get over there, you get sick. I don't think it was John's grandma this time. John's grandma was fine this time. I think it was just, again, every time I'm around a lot of people, that was what happened last time as well, with John's grandma's fractal. It's like I was at a festival. So, bunch of people talking to you, right? Getting in your personal bubble. Stop breathing the air I'm breathing. I say to them in my mind. I don't say it out loud, because they would think me rude. But yeah, I'm gonna get better. I'm getting better right now, actually. Yeah, 1% better, just like that. That means that things that are human made will become more valuable. I have shared this take as well, actually, Nancy, that you need to equip yourself to be of service, and in that way, when the robots do start taking our jobs, we will still be of service, right? Because sure, you can let a robot serve you, but if you have formed a rapport with a person, you're gonna go back to that person despite the robot being able to offer the same service. Cable, of course you're here today, Cable. I was reading some of your poems today on your Reddit page, bro. Especially that one with the spider's webs. Your hairs are like spider's webs. That one with the image. That one messed me up, bro. I was like, what are those things? What a trip having you here, bro. Sending you love this man. We even prepare for a world we have no idea what it's going to be. Completely different than the past centuries. Like night and day differences coming. The trick is, the trick is, you're just gonna, the trick is to build things that build themselves. The trick is to build things that build themselves. Am I building things that build themselves? No, not yet. Not yet, at least. I can. I can, technically. with enough resources. Maybe not yet. Maybe like in a year from now, I can make it build themselves. But again, then we're back at the same point of like, is that gonna be valuable? Is that gonna be of value for the person coming here? Yeah, who knows? I think you are though. The essence you spread, the essence you send spreads even without you. That is true. The way I'm interpreting what Cable just said is that every single time you show up in the essence of kindness, in the essence of compassion, in the essence of love, you teach people how to be so. And even if they cannot replicate that perfectly, there will be more love in the world despite of it, because of it, because of you. There's more to it that I'm perceiving as well. Yeah, since you spreads even without you. Yeah, I'm just actually called to acknowledge that despite me wanting to spread this essence, this love, this kindness, this compassion, uh, I don't think I can occupy that state, at least right now, indefinitely or like 100%. Right? I still fall short. Like there's some percentage. I'm trying to get myself in the higher percentage integers, right? Like I think 80/20 is a good ratio of being in a loving state and not being in a hateful state of the other 20%, but maybe just being in a more contemplative state, right? If I'm contemplating things and I'm just sitting looking, staring out into the distance, considering, I might not look very friendly. I might not look very approachable. I might not look and might not even be in that moment ready for a conversation. And I know I'm capable of occupying that state, but I also know I'm capable of occupying the others. So it's again, which part of the everything do I want to be? Am I getting better at it? Is the question I keep asking myself. I'd like to believe so, but you friends would have to tell me. I don't think I can be a good judgment. I don't think I have good judgment because I have bias intrinsically built in. Fit, bless you, friend. It's nice having you here. Mel, I saw something the other day that made me think of you. Basically, it was share your dreams with those who will support you, not put you down. It sounds like you have one family member, your brother, who will do that for you. Yeah. Rudo, Rudo is a G. But he is supportive in that way of like not dismissing me, which seems like the bare minimum, but that is like why I love him. Like he can manage the bare minimum. Don't just blatantly discourage people, from their dreams. He's very much one of those where again, he won't discourage, but he'll be patient in waiting to see, right? And he'll celebrate you as well in the act of seeing, if you will. I'm learning things about myself, especially after this weekend again. Like I'm reeling over conversations that were had. There was this one moment. Maybe I should share it because that's what I'm thinking about right now, where I was talking about gene editing and the implications thereof on our species. How the advent of AI alongside the advent of CRISPR is going to enable us as a species to do things that were unfathomable before, right? and wanting to open the dialogue about what that looks like, what that future looks like. And then just getting shut down, right? Getting told that that will never happen. That's not gonna happen. And if it's gonna happen, people are gonna mutate themselves into oblivion or whatever, right? And then there was this moment, like after the conversation had been settled, like we're done talking about all of this stuff. Uh, my one uncle, and technically this uncle has never really been that like conniving in his language, but my cousin's girlfriend, or technically now his, we have a word in Afrikaans that goes verloofde, his betrothed. Yeah, my cousin's betrothed is a microbiologist, or is studying her PhD or her honors in microbiology right now. And I'm sharing this idea, and then, I get shut down, and then the shutdown kind of continues. People get ready to go to sleep, and it's me and like some family members in the kitchen, and this uncle walks up to me and he goes, "Yeah, I can't wait for enter betrothed's name to come here and put you in your place." And I look at him and I'm like, the point for me wasn't to put any of you in your place. The point was to have a conversation, right? Why do I have to be put in my place when I have a conversation? I don't have to be an expert to be able to talk about something. Maybe they believe you do. Maybe that's really what they believe. Maybe that's something they limit themselves with. How can I bring this back to today's stream topic? Uh, it takes a lot of time to teach yourself something. Unfortunately, we live in a very linear world where people's judgment of you is directly attached to how long you've spent doing something. I'm trying to imagine the amount of time I've spent doing things in the digital plane of existence. Yeah, getting good, right? Slowly but surely. Hey, Zano is here. You've been missed, friends. Nice having you here. I have to leave soon because life only gives me moments small, but those pebbles contains mountains in them. Bye, lovelies. Bless you. Cable, it was nice having you here, friend. Mm-mm. I hope everyone did nice things during the weekend. Thank you, Fit. That's nice of you. Zano and baby Banano. So nice of you to greet the infant, the unborn infant. Do you have earphones in, or are you playing on loudspeakers inside your environment? I am really curious because in my mind, the one is going to impart more sound onto the baby than the other. I'm tripping out about social interactions slash coming together as people to have said social interactions. Thinking about being sick right now again after having said social interactions, and it's making me feel some way about going out. And I'm not gonna not go out. I'm not gonna not go out. But maybe I'll start, looking like a Mad Maxer or something. Start wearing masks everywhere. That sounds very uncomfortable and like it sucks melt. Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. You know what's even more uncomfortable and sucks even harder? Being sick. Being sick. Maybe I just need to get super vaccines, so I can't get sick anymore. Please, please, please. Oh, no, no, I understand your point, Melt. But if I ain't trusting a lawyer who just started law school yesterday, I am agreeing with you, Joy Vive. And I'm agreeing with you. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? Because today's stream topic is about that. Is about the fact that, we have access to thousands of years worth of knowledge, right? And some people have spent more time implementing that knowledge than others. And I get that my family do not want to listen to me based on the principle that I am unexperienced and young. But I've been unexperienced and young to them my entire life. And if they don't switch their own biases, I will continue to be unexperienced and young in their perspective. And I really do believe that. I believe the technology will catch up with me as well in a point where I won't age. Or at least by the time I'm like in my 40s, I will still look relatively young, at least to them, you know? And then I will have had more than a decade of doing something, doing this, doing art, doing yoga, and doing mapping for festivals. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change their unwillingness to listen to me. Right? It's almost like there's some sort of bias in you being a family member. Like they don't want to acknowledge any wisdom in your words because that, especially if you're younger, communicates some sort of authority or maybe importance in the social structure. Maybe that's what my ego is getting caught up in. Maybe I want to feel more important than my family. And then I have to ask myself, why? Why? Why do I want to feel more important in my social structures, in my family? I guess because I'm a person and old people want to feel important? Do I have to have a better answer than that? There's a voice in me that's like, nah, it's more about like pride than it is ego, right? And pride is a part of your ego, possible because of your ego, but I see it as a pride of like the pride of I'll show you, you know, like when you feel so prideful about something you believe in that it creates this sometimes resentful energy in you of like, I'll fucking show you. You don't want to help me? I'll do it without you. Right? And I don't like feeling that way particularly. It is something that drives me. So there's the other side of that. Like it has a certain aspect of willpower to it, but I don't know if it makes me feel good. Maybe I don't have to always feel good. Because love is true. Yeah, love is true. If you are met with opposition immediately and there's no use trying to talk to people committed to misunderstanding you, yo, I've read you write that sentence before, Zano. Jeez. But that line gets me every single time I reread it. People, there's no use talking to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Is that the word? Yeah. Committed. They want to misunderstand you, right? And it is like it's very clear. I did mention this, I think, day before yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, that my dad took it upon himself during my sister's birthday speech to praise her for how she accepted Jesus as her personal savior. And then at the end of the speech, he addresses me as well and he goes, my son, I still see your principles, your belief of love and your commitment to being there for people. Right? But like there was this energy, this like dialogue being opened again in our family that I am the one who doesn't. I am the one who doesn't do as they do, right? I am the one who chooses to be differently. Who I don't know if I choose to be differently. Can I choose? Can you choose to be different? Yeah, see, that's a whole can of worms for another night. We'll get back to that one. But from that perspective, from them so clearly being convinced that I am different, there is a commitment to misunderstanding me because maybe upon understanding me, they might be changed themselves, and that scares the shit out of people. And I get it. Nobody wants to be changed, especially if you think you have it going on, right? That's usually when change is most scary. Oh, I got it going on, you know. I'm confident in my own abilities. I am in control of the situation. I know where I stand in my social structures. I have financial stability. And then change, right? I don't even have to add more context. Just saying that word change, giving that perspective, right? Suddenly there's a state of like, when things are bad, when things are horrible, right? When it's raining over and over constantly and your roof is collapsing and it's still raining outside. Now suddenly change, it not raining anymore is great. Right, it's the best thing ever. And I feel like that's the part I'm worried about. I even made that analogy, right? Trying to appeal to the to the to the dogma where I was like, I am talking about this, all of these things, robotics, you know, AI as an attachment to that, genetics, the DNA fractals we're going to be embracing, and then ultimately our own consciousnesses. You know, what's gonna become of that? Like I was embracing these conversations from a perspective of like, these are things to consider. There is a flood. There is a flood coming. That's the way I articulated it. Right? There's a flood coming. In the same way, Moses had to prepare for the flood before the flood came, right? Moses can't start, you know, smacking sticks together the day it starts raining, right? That's not how it works. That's not how preparation works. That's not how wisdom works, right? You have to spend a lot of time thinking about these complexities to even touch any inkling of clarity, I believe. I've tried and I still don't. I've tried thousands of times and I still don't have perfect clarity on what the future is going to look like for any of us, for all of us. Right? It's a lot, but in that pursuit, in that conversation, in that consideration, there is a certain level of preparation happening that's like building an ark, right? An ark for your own ideas, an ark for your own way of being, your own spirit, if you will, right? That you're trying to envision in that space in the future. They heard what I was saying, but I don't know if they took it to heart. Mm-hmm. 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 I have you on big screen and my phone to comment. That sounds nice. Well, in that case, bless you, little banana. I think your stream is causing a bit of Pavlovian conditioning in me because I literally lifted my Dynavap to my mouth a second before your appearance on screen. Mm-hmm. I've just been gripping it, bro. I've just been gripping it. I'm not technically hitting it, but I am holding on to it right now. Maybe I should. Does this look dainty when I hold it like this? Maybe it even looking smaller. I'm just thinking about like Jovan's description of the Dynavap. That was the very first thing that I took issue with, weirdly enough, upon receiving it. I was like, isn't that thing too small to do what I wanted to do? Because I come from a world of pipes, right? And there's a big bowl. And you're like, yo, surely that's how much weed you need to get weeded. Now I appreciate it. I have enough lip strength to hold it in my mouth if I want to. And it's also not so heavy that if I have to support it with my teeth, that it feels like it causes any strain. I don't have to bite down on it in order to hold on to it. I was like questioning why this is feeling so strong, and then I remembered myself painstakingly stacking keef on top of it. That will do it. I didn't realize you were sick. Sorry to hear, Chifo. Good. If you didn't realize I was sick, it means my means my voice isn't giving me away. Blessings. Thank you, universe, for Mary Jane's. The way your family can debate certain topics just means that mainstream science has done a good job brainwashing them. There should be no boundaries to things that are not fully explored. So much of mainstream science now just says this is right, this is wrong. And that's not real science. Yeah, literally. And they are. You're completely right on that, Fractal Zano. They are very attached to that scientific oriented mind, right? Like things need to be empirically proven. Like there's pretty much a running joke every single family get together where perpetual motion is made fun of. And I have never, just for what it's worth, never believed in perpetual motion because I am in that way also a scientist, right? But there are things that are possible within science. And I'm only exploring those things, right? Sometimes I go into the metaphysical when it comes to consciousness. And I think that's a little bit outside of the realm of science, a little bit, at least, right? Just a wee bit. But when it comes to the technology, when it comes to the biology, when it comes to the compounds that this physical world allows us to access and the neurons that we have in our physical brains to experience these things with, I try to be very realistic. Maybe unrealistic in my timelines sometimes, you know. But I think that's just my optimism. I believe in manifestation. I do. And I believe honestly that setting shorter timeline goals makes it come quicker. That's not how it works, Mel. Don't please let me live in this fantasy for one more second. Love is true. No. Wasn't into organized religion, literally. Even Jesus wasn't into organized religion. Jesus wasn't a Christian. It's one of my favorite lines, right? Like, can we just take a moment to consider that? I think it was Noah. Did I say Moses? You're right. It is Noah. It's not Moses. Moses was the one who split the ocean, right? With his stick. He was the one who saw the burning bush. The one who led his people out of Egypt. Allegedly. So many, like, what? So many what moments when I think about what I believed as a child about the Bible. Alright, different callings, Joy Vive. I'm supposed to use my bitchiness for the good of all, not just myself. Yeah, love is true. Committed to misunderstanding. You point that out directly when it happens. Jesus sees that dumb shit. They know they're wrong. And they know they need to apologize. Just expose them. I tried to, right? There were moments where I was like, you know that's not true. I've said that. I've said that to people directly. Like, you know. Surely, you know that's not true. Because if you didn't know that, I would question your intelligence. And I do. And it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I'm shallow. I don't want to feel shallow. So absurd, the freaking human relations. Yeah, and it's like not like again. I'm not trying to fight anybody, as much as I'm trying to direct, and I guess maybe that's what people like find fault with as well, because my family are really into combustion vehicles, like to the point of obsession, right? Like really to the point of obsession, to the point where it's kind of like their Like they're being like combustion stands. Does that make sense? Right? Like you can use your voice for anything. And then you use your voice to like talk about how great combustion vehicles are and how electric vehicles will never be able to keep up. Right? Oh, your electric vehicle is gonna get destroyed by water. That was what I was like told over and over again. I was like, bro, do you know how many things break in a normal combustion car regularly? Committed to misunderstanding. And maybe committed to not only misunderstanding, but it's almost like they don't want to invest any time thinking about the dreams you have. And again, right? And I would like to believe my dreams for my future would be beneficial to the rest of humanity as well. I believe it so strongly that I don't think I'd be able to appreciate a good future if there was more suffering in the world because of me, right? So that being established, why do people take fault with like a different envision, a different vision for the future, a different way of seeing how life is going to be? Is it because of, again, familiarity? We talked about that yesterday. A predictability kind of thing. Like they want to be able to know what's going to be then. And it being different to what it is now makes it harder for them to predict what it's going to be like. And then they don't want to. And they'll literally fight you on it. They'll be like, nope. Nope, things won't change. Oh, and you know what? Like the best part, we even had conversations about how the truck he's driving to do most of his 4x4 stuff, and like they're like these big lifted trucks, and then they're going through like mud and these hills, and they're climbing rocks with them. It's very cool, you know. For like a few moments, I've done it as a child with them. Like it's been a thing my whole life, and I hated it every single time. What it's like is being uncomfortable. Extra, I should say extra. The most uncomfortable you can be in a car, uh, constantly. That's what like off-roading, hardcore off-roading is like in a truck. Being as uncomfortable as you can be in a car for the duration of the adventure, especially as a passenger. Maybe there's some value in it if you're the one steering the vehicle because there's a direct feedback loop. But if you're just in the car, it's just the most uncomfortable you can be. I'm having PTSD flashbacks thinking back to my poor child self sitting in the back of that seat wishing the hours away, wishing something else would come. And then he tells me that this vehicle of his gets something like 3 kilometers on a liter. Between 3 and 4 kilometers on a liter of fuel. And I know some of you friends are like, oh, Melt, I don't know what kilometers are, and I also don't know what liters are. So let's see if I can find miles per gallon. Volume, US gallons. So it takes 3.7 liters to get to 1 gallon. So you're getting between 12 and 16 kilometers per gallon. So that means it's between 7 and max 10 miles per gallon. And I know you friends are like, no, Mel, surely that's not right. No, that's right. I just did the math right in front of you. It is absurd. I was like, bro, then it means it like costs you something like $100 to drive to Pretoria. And he's like, yeah. What? And you want to argue with me. That guy was that cousin was the one who argued the most feverishly against electric vehicles. That one specifically, the one that pays like $100 for less for 120 miles of travel, like literally $1 per mile kind of vibes. That's bonkers. No, 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 no. How can you? Where an electric vehicle can just charge on your roof, hoist some solar panels, and then you charge your electric vehicle from your roof. When you're standing at home, your vehicle is charging. Like I feel like I'm like talking to a wall here. And I know you friends probably are so sick of this conversation as well. I'm trying to understand myself. Like I feel like I'm reiterating, going through this conversation, still questioning if I am the insane one. Like is there something wrong with me? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Pulling over, open my closet, and then looking at the mirror. Some of you friends will know that meme, but I cannot say it. Okay. I think I'm a little bit behind. I say Uncle Becky is here with us. Bless you, bro. I like your Christ. I do not like your Christmas. Your Christmas are so unlike your Christ, says Gandhi. Yeah, how about that? And Christmas is still the most celebrated, vacation or get together in my family as well. And every single Christmas, more than I want to say, is this true? Maybe not. I wanted to say a big number. I'll say $500. I wanted to say 1,000 at first, but I'll say 500 to be a little bit more conservative. $500 of alcohol is being bought every Christmas, right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. And I feel again like this sense of guilt, personal judgment, of me being like shallow or judgmental or I'm scorning. And I don't want to feel that stuff either. But it's like, what have we normalized? And how are we so feverishly fighting to continue doing the things that we know are bad for us? We know, empirically, without a shadow of a doubt, and we're fighting. We're fighting to hold on to this like toxic sludge that's poisoning us. Maybe this whole conversation is the toxic sludge that's poisoning me, and I am talking about it because I want some sense of closure. Is there closure to doing things you know are bad for you over and over? Maybe closure in the addiction loop. The want arises and then you get to do it. That's a type of closure. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Makes sense. I'm gonna take that as at least my way of understanding it for now. Love you, Louisiana. Thank you for blessing our friends with some lovin's. See, and when you say it, it's like that's a practical community service job. I feel like I'm missing some. You need a fancy wooden holder for the end. No, no, it's not necessary. It stays pretty cool. Maybe the wooden end could be nicer on the teeth. Maybe that's what you mean. It could. I plan on replacing my teeth with titanium now. As soon as I need to. Not as soon as I can. As soon as I need to. I'm gonna go straight. Remove all of my teeth. And then plate. Not even plate. Just go straight solid titanium inserts. I know they already use titaniums like the little drill bits that they put in your skull, right? In your jaw as well. But instead of putting enamel on top of, or like little pearly whites on top of those titanium studs, I just want to go titanium all the way through. And you're like, why, Melt? Why would you do that? Because one of the things that I find the most cringeworthy in my human experience is when you like bring something to your mouth. Like this bottle, for example, is a culprit. It's pretty heavy, even when it's empty. So I have to be gentle to like rest it on my lip first. Because you come swinging and you hit your teeth with that metal. That causes me great discomfort. It makes me like die inside a little bit. Because I'm like, did I shatter my teeth? Did I just crack one of them? Like I go through like such a list of like, and I don't want to feel that ever again. I'm probably gonna feel it many more times throughout life. But it's something I'm very cautious about as well. I try to be especially gentle. Freaking fragile little teetsies. How is that okay? How is that like soft stuff all the way outside, and then this part, just these protruding little stones? I'm kind of envious of the elephants. They have these massive molars, like huge units, and they like slide through like magazines. You can just keep growing new teeth. We can. Biologically, it's possible for us to grow new sets of teeth. I wonder why we don't. Do I want to ask an LLM that question? It seems a bit absurd. Is it going to be able to answer me? That's what I'm curious about. I'm trusting no. Should I trust no? I should believe no. Yeah. That's something that I cannot know to be true, but let's see. I was just wondering, why do we not grow more sets of teeth after our first initial set? Made a little mistakey there, but it's fine. Should understand what I'm saying. All right. So there are a few reasons, apparently. It is an evolutionary adaptation. Over time, humans have evolved to have two sets of teeth. This adaptation is likely linked to our dietary habits and the structure of our jaws. Once permanent teeth are in place, they are designed to last a lifetime under normal conditions. The jaw development is not giving me an answer. It's just kind of telling me about what I already know. You see, that's kind of disappointing. I wanted to give me like a really good answer, like you don't grow extra teeth because there's this gene in your body that is just switched off, bro. After you develop your initial set of teeth, this gene switches off because biologically or evolutionarily, it maybe increase the likelihood of infection or increase the likelihood of discomfort. Maybe if you're an adult and then you're like getting a new set of teeth, that could like hurt your chances with a mate. I want some answers, but maybe that's me asking too much. Probably a little bit. But again, the elephants get 6 sets. 6 sets of teeth. If not, why not? How far? Okay, no, not that far behind. What Mel did this past weekend with his family, and what a lot of us do in relationships, is what a former therapist called the unconscious pull. On the healthier side, it's a compulsion to try to correct certain types of behavior. But if it's dysfunctional, you're probably gonna keep hitting your head against the wall. I feel like I'm like at the integration stage at this point. Thank you for saying that as well, Nancy. You friends have seen me go through these things at least, you know. Unfortunately, I go through moments where I don't have to deal with that, and then I don't talk about it. because I don't think about it. I'm just thinking about it right now, I guess. Can someone inbox me Mel's address, please? I think if you're going to send me something, it'll probably will we have to send to the local DHL. Or I wonder if I could give the DHL my address and then they would be willing to deliver the package. Because our local post station, post, post station? Is it called a post station? The place where we receive our post got closed here in Harties, in Hartbeespoort. Groblersdals do not have any computers, so they're not receiving packages anymore. Uh, Zanin, like so many of the places are just closed right now, so like we can't even receive it at like the old postal service. I breathe. But maybe there could be a way, you know. Maybe like making like a big package. Reach out to Joy V potentially. Like that. Maybe you friends can work together to like compile one package and then send it one time instead of trying to get many smaller packages on this side. Because I know Joy V wants to send me something as well. I think Lausanne too. Thank you. Thank you for thinking about me. I really do appreciate that. On the other side, got someone. He smite the rock and water game. I would love to see that, bro. That would melt my brain instantaneously. Uncle B, we would all love to inbox Pat's address. It would make it much easier to mail him things. Yeah. What a trip. It being hard to give me stuff. Me making it hard to give you stuff. I'm sorry. I really do appreciate your loving. And I'm so curious what you've gotten me. Like that. It's hurting me to not know even. Cheat sheet. Moses was Carlton Hines and Noah was Russell Grove. I don't get that one. But apparently it's not that easy where he is in South Africa. But no one has it. No, not one of us. It's true. Technically, it's true. I try to. Yeah, you led with if Jesus is always with you, then he can see how much of an idiot you're making of yourself. Yes. And then you follow up with how embarrassed you are to have to watch this. You see, Sam, you are a significantly more hardcore than I am. And my family, poor delicate sensibilities, would do a somersault if I spoke like that to them. It is kind of hilarious though. I'll DM you the DHL address he sent me, Uncle Becky. There is a local DHL. And I believe when I went and did some research myself, that apparently is the best company when it comes to the private corporations. They still do operate here in South Africa. Mm. This is some white rhino canoe too. Woo! Alrighty. I'm gonna be back to chat in a moment. Uncle Becky, the above tactic works well with the group because the type of people who accept such nonsense are usually narcissists in need of being trimmed down. I wish it were that easy, Sam. Oh, if only. Like Johnny Cash said, sooner or later, to the narcissist doing nothing, to the narcissist, nothing they do is wrong. Any type of criticism will go in one ear and out the other. The one way to effectively do that is to take away the acceptance of the group. And yes, it is that easy, Zano. Would you like to learn? Yeah, the acceptance of the group is usually taken away against me first, though. Right? Because, like, from that group perspective, are by definition wrong. Because I don't believe the same things they do. So I'm kind of like stalemated in that one. Come. I already have the room against me. We need hydrogen vehicles, even electric, our dirty energy. Hydrogen isn't gonna make it. Unfortunately. Alright, it is very dangerous. Significantly more so than an electric vehicle. And most of the carbon that you put into an electric vehicle is like all of the bits outside of it, right? All of the bits that you make it move with. And in that way, you're still kind of like stuck with the same problem. There's still a lot of carbon that goes into building a vehicle, with the metal work on the outside and the chassis and the seats, right? All of that stuff still takes carbon. So if you just go down to the drivetrain, then we have to take efficiencies into consideration. And unfortunately, with hydrogen, you're like dealing with like 50% losses, which is still like 30% better than traditional combustion vehicles, but it is at the same time 90 like 45% worse than the 95% electric vehicles can get. So if we're thinking about the amount of like wasted energy, uh, and specifically when it comes to heat, right? Heat is a big thing. Like we call it discarded energy sometimes, where so many of our industrial processes, yes, some of that heat is being used to spin a turbine or boil something, but at the same time, so much of that heat is just running past the sides of it and into the atmosphere. Right. Electricity kind of closes that bottleneck a little bit, in many ways, at least. We don't lose as much, so we don't need as much. Like a lot of us are stuck in thinking that renewables cannot ever kind of like compete with the old systems, but the old systems have like massive losses, like massive, like sometimes up to 40% of the energy they put in just disappears literally into thin air, literally. And being able to recapture all of those losses with electrons that can be put in batteries or in flywheels or in gravity-fed pulley systems that lift blocks into the air and then drop them off on those pulleys to generate energy again, or hydro or geothermal or sand that you heat up to supercritical temperatures. Like there are so many ways for us to store energy right now. Is somebody leaving again? Maybe. So yeah, renewables for the win. Love is true. Wat gaat dan? Ik kan niet horen. Nee. Het is raar, Tani. Is dat niet of jij te klim? I just wanted to know where the Tanya is going. I think she's gonna come and tell me now. I still want to know. I care. She usually stays home after right now. After she comes back home. Wat gaan Tani?
Ek gaan na Michelle toe. Sy vermis vir my.
Okay, Tani. Gaat Tani daar slaap?
Ja, ek slaap mos.
Tani ook
Ek sien
lekker.
haar môre,
Ja, ek sê vir
maar-
hulle gewoonlik is Tani hier so is dan bly Tani hier so. So nee hoor. Wat gaan Tani
Nee, my
sê?
sussie stuur my 'n boodskap. Ek mis jou. Gaan jy kom kuier?
That's nice, Tani. Tani would like a guy. Her sister is missing her, so she's gonna go and visit her. Isn't that nice? She's not that far away. She's like 19 kilometers that way. So, bless her. Now we know. I honor that perspective, and I respect those of you who choose not to do this work. It's all fine. As cathartic as it can feel in the moment, trimming down narcissist is a poison chalice. Yeah, unfortunately, like Dale Carnegie, is that his name? His voice is stuck in my head as well, bro. Like, you have to, unfortunately, appease the people's egos. Cutting down narcissists will potentially give them fuel to hate you indefinitely. And you might not care. You might not care that they hate you forever. But I do. I do care. As much as I would like to pretend I don't, I do. Because I love them very much. And them not loving me makes it harder for me to love them. Not from a perspective of I'll love them less if they don't love me. And I might actually. But more so from the perspective of if they don't love me, they're not gonna want to spend time with me. So I will not have the opportunity to love them, right? In a conversation, by listening to them and cooking them a meal and going and watching a movie together, right? There are so many ways that we can give love to one another, spend that time, share that energy, and cutting a narcissist down in that way could sever all of those potential future bonds you could hopefully have. And it might not be important. Maybe you could help them by cutting them down in this moment. But I would also like to believe that we all grow at different paces. I rarely go for personal attacks. I'll go for logical gaps, right? I'll point out logical gaps. I'm like, but rarely do I like go for the gullet. I think it's because I actually at one point used to, right? When I was at my most depressed, that was like my key, because I could look at you and know things about you that you don't want me to know about you. And I could tell you about those things you don't want me to know about, or anybody to know about, just in like a dialogue, right? Like, and you can like devastate people by just pointing something out that they're so like ridiculously insecure about, for example. Just like really pushing that button. And I felt powerful as my 14-year-old self, 15-year-old self. I felt a sense of power, being able to do that, having that intuition. But at the same time, people resented me for it because they didn't feel safe with me. And how could you? How could you? When I could at any moment, whip out weapons of mass destruction. So I don't. I just don't. I leave those weapons of mass destruction at the door. Kind of like from a principle of like, I'm not here to blow anything up. I'm here to make some progress. I'm here to spend some time. That is what it ultimately is. And sometimes cutting down the narcissist will also sever that time you'll get to spend, because they might not hate you indefinitely, but they'll potentially be very cold to sever that moment with you. They'll go and be by themselves, and that might be another narcissistic trait, but still love is true. Many of us love narcissists. You know what the best part is? If you're a narcissist, you love yourself. So maybe I should say all of us love narcissists. Boom. It's true though. It is true. It is true. And all of us probably have, in one way or another, dealt with that energy. I think it is a little bit of a word that has been used so much that it has unfortunately lost a little bit of its impact. At least for me. I don't know if there are no not narcissists. I know, I'm great. English is my second language. Oh, goodness. Hey, Google. And I know we've done this before. Define narcissist. That's all, bro. Thank you. A person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. I think it's the admiration of the self that's maybe the one that people get caught up in. Because I don't think you cannot not have interest in yourself? What does excessive mean when it comes to interest? Is it again a time thing? How much time do you spend thinking about yourself as opposed to thinking about other people? Is that the question I'm supposed to ask? I think about other people all the time. I think, weirdly enough, when there are no other people to think about, my mind goes quiet. And even though that can be very freeing, I can feel very empty, free of need in that way as well. It's not very fulfilling. Surprise, surprise. So yeah. And then the admiration of ourselves. I think I would be a blatant liar if I didn't say I admired myself. But again, they're using the word excessive as a prefix. Excessive admiration of myself. Do I excessively admire myself? I admire how far I've come, if anything. I admire having been able to show myself how I can be, according to society, bad, lazy, unmotivated, intelligent but is not using his intelligence appropriately. To being able to say I am doing that. And I'm doing that in a way that makes sense to the life I'm living. Right? If I lived a different life, if I lived in a different world, would my way of being right now make sense to my soul? I can't say it would. But living in a day-to-day world kind of vibe, where the sun sets and then comes up again, when I go to sleep and then awake for another, what am I supposed to do with myself? Other than my interests. And then as you show up for your interests become a part of you. You become a part of the interest. There is a certain melting of the barriers. I was thinking about asking myself, what have I become? And it was like trying to answer the question felt narcissistic. What am I becoming? Maybe that's the better question to ask. Can you become a narcissist? The answer that my mind gave, my soul, if you will, in asking the question, what have I become, is love. Through these acts. to this willingness, to this capacity, I have become love. Is that narcissistic to say? I ask again. Is it true? My mind says yes, because love is true. Of course. Thank you, friends. Like, seriously. Usually I am emotional when I start thanking you, but I'm already crying, so now it's like, bro, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Hey, stop. Okay. I'm getting back to chat. Yeah. Yeah. My voice is fine. I am not trembling. Never. Never will I tremble in the face of feelings. Not to borrow a phrase from the Chris Pratt, least your union and roll. But the battling narcissist is like Andy from Parks and Recs, wiping his ass and never getting clean. Like wiping a marker. I'm so devastatingly confused. You do certainly pick your battles. Verbally sparring of a narcissist is as much about fixing their ego issues as it is instilling confidence in their victims to speak up to. What a good point you're making. Sounds like some mental gymnastics we're doing here right now. So, yeah. You see, you not wanting to like cut down that narcissist is exactly what they want. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just making fun of the absolute like hilarity of that situation. No winning, no winning. Only the narcissist gets to win, right? Yeah. I can also invite an opportunity for more abuse or meltdown. Exactly. Different topic. I noticed they brought back awards on Reddit. How far can we hope for RPAN 2.0? There will be RPAN 2.0. It will be glorious. It will be beautiful. Do you still have your YouTube Premium, not your YouTube Premium, your Reddit Premium years? Remember how we had like literally a decade plus of Reddit Premium? I'm pretty sure they stole that from us. I'm pretty sure. It looks like they did. At least for me, on my side, it looks like they did. They might not have. They might just keep me up, but they're not showing me until when it is that I have it anymore. Some of you friends are like, what the fuck are you talking about? No. Uncle Becky being an RPANiner, like myself, would know exactly what I'm talking about, if he knows what I'm talking about. So I'm just throwing some lines there, reeling them back and seeing if I can find any information. I think trying to fit anybody anyway seems extremely difficult. I have a hard time fixing my hair before streams. Never mind fixing myself. Never mind fixing another person. That shit is nigh impossible. I've been trying, and I seem to fall short. I seem to fail every single time I try. I don't think I've changed a single person. Have I? Maybe some of you friends are being like, no, Mel, that's cap. Oh, you've changed me. That's nice. That's nice. But I think, again, you changed yourself. I was just giving voice. And I think, weirdly enough, me being like a potentially semi-disembodied face on a screen right now might even help you in your own journey towards conscious evolution than I would potentially be able to if I was like me as Mel trying to help you with the process of conscious evolution, right? Isn't that trippy? Isn't that trippy? You get what I'm saying, though? What I'm saying is that it's you. Is that it's only you at the end of the day that changes yourself. You can reflect, you can consciously evolve, but it only comes through your own awareness, right? And again, we can bring things into each other's awareness, but if there is no awareness to bring something into, then you're gonna be having a hard time. Big struggles. Big struggle. Mm-hmm. Zoom, 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 zoom. Every narcissist is surrounded by people who many have questions about this person's behavior that they keep getting gaslit on. A public confrontation validates these concerns. I wonder if there's more context. No. Different topic. Bless again. Hopefully, bro. Again for the ARPAN fractal. Form a relationship with the DHL. I bet they will. What is the town? I want research. Hartbeespoort. HARTBEESPORT. Hartbeespoort. Does it have two O's in the port? Maybe. Your mileage might vary. I'll DM you the DHL address you sent me. Bless again. Thank you. I'm like bouncing back and forth a little bit and it's melting my brain too. My dad forced me to abort my child with my partner. Oh, I remember you sharing that with us before. I was like tripping out for little banana for a second. I was like, Brat, what? Love you again. The hydrogen can be used to generate the electricity used. Yeah, but there's laws. When you take electricity to make hydrogen out of water, and then you take that hydrogen to make electricity out of hydrogen, there's laws. Lots of them. Big losses. Unfortunately. And again, it could be like a bottleneck for some industries, like especially the steel industry. Using hydrogen there makes a lot of sense. But in our vehicles, unfortunately not. Those things are exploding a lot. Like a lot, unfortunately. I should have specified, yeah, a little bit anonymous. Yeah, there was like a little bit of like a, but I remembered at least you telling us that before, so I had the wherewithal to bring myself back. So I plan on putting out as much as possible. My dad will not have a relationship with my child, and I'm happy about it. When I was younger, I thought things would be different. But things change. That's the thing. The lithium in the battery is now obtained from drilling wells. That salt water is dehydrated to obtain the lithium. Yeah. Like saline water, salt water is unusable to anything. Nothing drinks it. Nothing lives in it. It is very corrosive, even to the equipment that is extracting it. It's like literally corrosive. So, is that a bad thing that we're extracting the lithium from this corrosive liquid, potentially even liberating some of that water for our environment? We can technically capture some of that salt as well, so we can have like dual use. We do use salts. Yeah, mining is not gonna stop. And mining right now, like even if you're gonna switch over to hydrogen, you're still gonna be mining things that you're gonna can contain the explosions of the hydrogen within, or the electrolyzers. Like you're still gonna have to mine stuff. That's not gonna stop. And we will hopefully soon enough, hopefully by 2035, start mining asteroids instead of our planet. Melt has not had enough life experience if he's sitting here romanticizing spending time with a narcissist. I'm not romanticizing anything. I'm talking about love, right? I'm talking about love. I'm not romanticizing narcissism or spending time with a narcissist. I'm more acknowledging the importance / significance of having moments with other people. And I get it. I get it of the whole experience thing. Like I'm at that point where I don't spend time with certain people. right? Like my uncle, my one uncle, the one that during that last Christmas told me I need to stop die kak waarmee jy besig is. I need to stop all of this shit I'm busy with. My art, my yoga, my live streams. At that point, I need to stop this shit I'm busy with. Like in that, that like creates like a certain rage in me that is inexplicable. Like properly inexplicable, like dangerously inexplicable. Like whoa. Don't do it like that. And again, it is like a very, very small thing, and it's something that I am ruminating on. He probably completely forgot about it even, but I'm the one who chooses to hold on to that cactus instead of just letting go of it. So I keep trying to let go. I do, but I'm still gonna prove him wrong. For myself, not for him, for me. Alright? Yeah. Are we back to narcissism? Thanks, Joy. Melt has not had bliss again. A narcissist is a narcissist, even if they like you, ergo, they're insufferable. And I don't think narcissists love themselves at all. It's more like false inflation of ego due to a deep-seated belief that they're not enough. And to become enough, they must make even everyone else less. Yeah. See, again, coming back to not going for those personal attacks, because I feel like I was more of a narcissist. If I was ever a narcissist, I was a narcissist in high school. And again, you were 100% right. Like, I did not love myself. In fact, I was thinking about going down the sewer slide every single day. Literally every single day. And not only like maybe as a passing thought, like, but as a loop, as an obsession, as a fantasy, as a thought experiment. Yes, I die, and then what? And then I watch them go to my funeral. I watch them cry. Oh, he was so young. And then they go on with their lives. And I'm like, yeah, checks out. That's exactly what would happen. Over and over and over. Like, again, that narcissism. I was also convinced I was right about that. I was convinced I was right about the futility of it all. Right? Like, why even try? I would say to people, why even try? Oh, like, what is the point? We're all gonna die. Like, if not now, eventually. And when that eventually comes, everything that we think we are, everything we leave, our legacy, our potential offspring, will eventually get consumed by the sun, losing mass and expanding into a red giant, consuming our Earth in its orbit. Not on its orbit, in its diameter, right? Literally, it will extend its barrier. Right? So I was so futile. I was like, why try? And then I think that was the hardest part about being depressed in my teenage years for me, is I couldn't be helped. I could not be helped. I was right, empirically, about the futility of it all. And you couldn't convince me otherwise. And it's so comical looking back at it now to think that I actually believe that. It almost feels untrue thinking about it. Like, how did that even happen? How did that happen? It's a lot of things. I think it's being a teenager. It's being a outcast. Because, again, at that point I was an atheist as well, in a Christian school. So I was like one in a 200, 1 in a 300, of like a concentration of atheist to Christian ratio. So there was very much like an outsider fractal. Like a lack of importance. There it is again. There it is again. The lack of importance thing. Why do I want to feel important? Because I think that gives my life meaning. Is that narcissistic? Feels like it. Feels like a bit narcissistic. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just trying to assign parallels that don't necessarily go together. Importance. Hey Google. Hey Google. Define importance. This the state or fact of being of great significance or value. Now, suddenly, I don't want to know if I'm responsible anymore as much as I want to know if I've been brainwashed into believing what I'm believing. In that way, in the want to be important, right? In the want to be of great or significant value, great significance or great value. Because that's what capitalism or our society at large right now, or my family, or my teachers, or every single adult that ever had a conversation with me kept imparting on me that what are you gonna do that's gonna make you important? What are you gonna do that's going to make you of great significance? What are you going to do to bring value? Well, again, I trust that I am. I trust that I'm figuring it out. Thank you very much. I will bring great value in my way. Narcissist again? Fuck. I keep fuck. I don't think there's any winning. Hey Google. Is everyone narcissist? Nearly everyone shows traits of narcissism. Okay, good. So it's not just me being like, from time to time, perhaps you have a touch of self-centeredness, an occasional tendency to exaggerate your own importance, or feel envious of that successful coworker. As isolated personality traits, these attitudes and behaviors don't necessarily mean you are narcissistic, but they can be traits. According to a Business Insider article, I don't know if we should take that. We should like take a spoonful of salt. Narcissism is a trait that everyone has to some degree. It exists on a spectrum, and everyone falls somewhere along the narcissism continuum. Okay, good. Because I was like very much like feeling that. I was like, oh, bro, I don't know if we should like label, because again, I'm not one for labels. You just watched me painstakingly like look at this label from like every single angle, putting paper mache over this invisible 3D object that is concepts. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna continue reading. It exists on a spectrum, and everyone falls along that spectrum on that narcissism continuum. In fact, some self-centeredness is actually healthy and contributes to confidence, resilience, and ambition. However, some people may exhibit more severe cases of narcissism. Common symptoms of narcissism include having a grandiose sense of self-importance. Again, you see, I think maybe that is my narcissistic trait, is the fact that I want to be important. I'm now more aware of that. And I feel maybe that helps. Maybe me being willing to acknowledge that could be a problem helps in and of itself. Okay, living in a fantasy world. Oh goodness. Oh, I'm gonna get schooled. What's more? Needing constant praise. Nah, that one is not. Do I need constant praise? No. In fact, I cringe at constant praise. You friends have watched me, turn into a raisin. In needing of constant admiration, feeling entitled, and exploiting others without guilt or shame. Yeah, that one I don't have at least. These attitudes and behaviors don't necessarily mean someone has narcissistic personality disorder, But narcissism as a personality trait doesn't require a cure or a treatment, but change is possible with psychotherapy. Are we doing psychotherapy right now? Define psychotherapy. The treatment of mental conditions by verbal communication and interaction. Boom. Yeah. Boom. Yeah, we're psychologically therapizing ourselves right now. Melt, you need to have a psychological therapist. You think I can afford a psychological therapist? That's very wholesome. Oh, maybe the AI. The AI probably will catch up. Will close that gap for us as well. If you are honestly, I think I just lost my. If you are honestly emotionally asking yourself if you are a narcissist like that, Melt, you are not a narcissist. I don't know. I don't know, Zano. I'm kind of concerned about myself right now. You know, like not the one I have now. Bless you again. Shit, love again. Your uncle can go fuck himself. Yeah, agreed. I'm not romanticizing, he says quickly and defensively. It doesn't mean he's a chump. It means he's prioritizing connections above all else. It is natural to question that decision, however, Mel. I hear you. Thank you for stating so clearly as well. Yeah, hearing that made my eyebrows furl, all not nice and stuff. My uncle, Fractal. Yeah. I still wanna like beat his ass about it, for what it's worth, right? Like I think about that thought and my fists start raising. I'm like, no, put that down. You mean I don't. But no, I'll whip his ass, and then I'll like feel ashamed about it, and my family will be like, bro, that was not cool. Like you whipped a 50-year-old man's ass. Like, bro, why would you do that? Well, it's actually 60-year-old man's ass, bro. I can't do shit like that. So no, it's not gonna happen. I forgive him. I don't forgive, or I don't tolerate, I should say instead, his energy in my life anymore, because he hasn't changed. Like he was saying some mean shit. Like my sister got a new car. Well, not new, secondhand, but she got a car, new to her, kind of vibes, right? And my uncle, this one was basically the one who found this car on auction or something, and it had some mechanical damage. And then he told my sister that if she, like wants it, he'll repair it for her. And then she started paying, like the baking she did and stuff, money over to his account. And then my dad finally, like paid the rest of it, and he brought the car through, because apparently that's why he didn't end up finishing the car, because it wasn't completely paid or whatever. So got paid, brought the car through, and then at the Woenstel, at like the place in town where the car was parked, my brother is the one who is gonna drive the car back to home, right? Because it was in town. The uncle brought it into town, and then he says stuff to my brother like, "Ja, nee, wees gaan nou ding weer probeer deur sy gat trek," which like directly translates to he's gonna try and pull your car through his ass, just like trying to destroy it. And like hearing this conversation with my brother, like hearing his mind of like, this fucking guy, like what the fuck, and then feeling my energy coming from that place of like, yeah, I felt that way too about this guy. So yeah, it's not an isolated instance, it seems. I don't know what he's gaining by that. Maybe that is, again, it's an act of narcissism where they try to bring you down to their level so they feel above you, right? They want to see you lose demeanor so that them being in their like demeanor is better than your demeanor. You know what I'm saying? Is that what's happening? Yeah. And in that way, I do not tolerate. I do not talk to him at all. I do not give him a chance to say some bullshit at me. You're hearing me, Firu. We can all have narcissistic traits. You can be a toxic, chaotic person, but narcissism is a personality disorder. It's not something you can turn on and off with or grow out of. It's not something that can be cured or that goes away. I mean, the internet told me psychotherapy helps. Please, I want to believe that there's hope. I want to believe there's hope for all of us, Joey. For those who have the narcissisms and those who don't. I think that you're describing is fairly normal teenage inflated ego. The fact that you're no longer like that shows that you've grown a lot since your school days. I still have a lot of growth left, but thank you, bro. I've tried. I really have. I can relate to wanting to feel important. When I was a kid, I used to tell people that I wanted my death to be I wanted my death to be international news for having been famous, for having been a famous something or the other. That one I never had, right? That one I never had. So that's interesting to me to see it as like now more of that spectrum as well. Uh, the way that I articulate the whole dying fractal is I want to be buried or I want my ashes spread high. And I know that sounds so strange, but my mind, during one experience of really contemplating death, came to this conclusion that if I was to die, my ashes needs to be like spread at the top of a mountain. And there was this element of like a physical effort, of like getting it all the way up there. And then as soon as I psychologically in my mind reached the top of that mountain to spread my own ashes, I was like, this is not high enough. And then I looked up and I saw the moon. And then I was like suddenly on the moon, spreading my ashes on the moon. And then I realized that I could just keep going with this. So I kind of like stopped it at that. But yeah, that's my importance fractal. Like for some reason, my mind registered being buried or having your ashes spread higher means more importance. I don't know if that's true. Why would that be true? Why would I think that? Why would that make sense to me in the moment? Mm, I can relate. Less again. What are you going to be? What are you going to do to bring value? Is how parents ask their children, how do you intend to justify the expense of raising you? And that's abuse. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Part of the issue is everyone's running around trying to find validation outside of themselves. We need to find value for ourselves from within. We are born with inherent value. I think because life again. I think because we find ourselves in a system of oppression, right? Capitalism, where we have to literally earn our survival. We don't believe we have inherent value, literally, like by definition, unfortunately. So it's again like a societal issue, maybe, definitely. There's nothing and no one like us under the sun. Our very existence is proof of our importance and value. What a beautiful point that is to make, actually, Joy B. I agree, Sam and Joy, bless. Hey, Ashley Johnson. Have I seen your name before? If not, and you're new here, welcome. It's nice having you. I feel kind of bad because we're like ending this stream today. I usually put a card before I do, but it's getting cold. It is winter in South Africa, and the sun has set, and the heat is leaving. It's leaving outside, but my body is close behind. I'm gonna be back in a second. Alrighty. I'm gonna turn the light on as well because it's getting dark. There we go. Card pull time. Ooh. Much love all. Tunes and friends. I love you also bigly. We love you too, yo. Like I'm reeling on this point of inherent value. You. Yes, you have inherent value. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to perform. You don't have to do a song and dance or bring me a coffee for you to have value. You just do. And I've had conversations like this with people where they literally argue with me And they're like, nope, people do not have inherent value. And if you take care of people, if you give them food and shelter, they will just waste away. They'll be of even less value and they will cost money. Yes, see. Let's see what this card is gonna give us today, because I feel some powerful energies. This one. We haven't pulled this card many times before. Birthing a new age. Birthing new creations. Dreaming a new world into being. Purple, yeah. Yeah, like this card is very purple. I mean, you can see that, right? Look at you, Zano. Maybe you got some baby powers right now. Maybe there's like two consciousnesses trying to think about what color it is. You have an unfair advantage. You're cheating. That is true. Man. Birthing a new age. One more time of showing these. There's some stars. There's some halos of like what looks like electromagnetic fields bending light. There is a soul reaching up into the world. This platform looks like it's floating in like the womb of creation. Birthing a new age. Yeah, Zada getting celebrated. Thank you, Jovan, for doing so as well. Birthing a new age. Page 92. You ready? I am. Often, our path is exactly the one we don't feel prepared to walk. Walk it anyway. Often, what is rising feels far bigger than we could possibly hold. Be a container for it anyway. Often, our creation seems to have a wild, uncontrollable consciousness of their own. Birth them anyway. Often, what is ours to do is the very thing that most intimidates us. Be courageous and do it anyway. We are birthing a new age. Right now, we're in a transition period between ages. In the process of allowing the old cycle to fall away and the new to rise, like driving in the fog and trusting the road will appear ahead, we need to release old identities and ways that no longer serve us, using our intuition as a compass. You are part of a group of souls who have been incarnating at significant periods of history, preparing for this exact time. Dreaming a new world into being. Magdalene sisters, daughters of Isis, SNS, SNS, that sounds nice. Priestesses, witches, mystics, healers, seers, artists, midwives, visionaries, guardians of the earth, and storytellers from times past. It is time to give permission and space for what is beckoning within to be born. We are dreaming a new world into being. Yes, see, this card is taking me on a ride. Hold this card in your heart and say, I am open to surrendering to the creations that are wanting to be birthed through me. May I be of service in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. Please use me. Please lead me. Please show me the way. I mean, it's probably just because I was pushing it against my body, but as soon as I said, lead me, show me the way, suddenly in the palm of my hand, gained a lot of heat. Felt like it started warming up suddenly. Let's say goodbye for the day. Thank you, dear friends, for joining me for another stream. I wonder, is the goodbye message being materialized right now? Look at that. Look at that. Love is true. Thank you, dear Joe. I hope you all have the most abundant day. Yes, everyone. You're for realsers. Really realser. You're for really realsy realsers. So truthfully, truly, exponentially enjoyed Merciful Meltmore. And all of you, oh so seriously spectacular, incredibly important, wowingly worthy, awe-inspiringly aware, authentically, wholly wholesome, humanimal creatures, taking time to appreciate all you have and being proud of the efforts that you took to build it. Jeez. We've been missing you so much, Jovan. I don't know if Joy Vive and Sam said anything, but yesterday they were like, Where's Jovan at? Here she is. Love is true. Thank you for joining us, dear friends. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. Goodbye. I love yous. Until we do it again. Cheers.